Which is physically impossible.
Which, I mean, even if it wasn't, let's say it could actually happen. Let's say one person could get all the money. Well, then what? There's no economy anymore. The end goal of capitalism is the slow death of the economy. Literally. I mean, there's literally nowhere you can go.
So no well, again, I do know a little bit about communism, and communism ain't that great either.
Well,
Because
communism, on paper, is probably the best economic solution we've thought of to date. On paper.
On paper.
On paper. The problem
Correct?
is people are greedy assholes.
Yep.
That's the problem. People are just greedy assholes, and they're going to ruin whatever systems we put in place. To say, I mean, we have not actually seen a true communist society yet.
Actually, there have been true communist societies, but they've been very, very, very small. Think monasteries?
Yeah.
And
but,
nunneries.
I mean, we're talking, a full-fledged country going full-fledged communism.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking an actual, sizable group. A small little commune can go full communist, but nobody's going to pay any attention because it's maybe 100 people.
Here's the thing. For a bigger society, because there's so many different personalities, you need kind of like a balance between capitalism, because people do want to grow, and communism, because you don't want somebody having all the money, because that's going to screw everyone over, including the guy with all the money. So maybe that's where socialism should be defined as, the happy medium between communism and capitalism. Because the benefit of capitalism is it does allow for growth. The benefit of communism is it does allow for people to survive and not have to worry about that. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, it does make sense.
So what we want is the ability to grow and the ability to survive. Put them together like a Reese's peanut butter cup or a marshmallow chocolate thing. Something. Wish. And I need to find Frank because I have a bouquet for him. I do where he would be as he's for the house. I'm actually doing a quest in this game. Oh my god. Where the hell would...
We should have slightly more energy now. Not a lot, but some.
Where is Frank?
Look on the map. You should have a big freaking check mark next to Frank.
I am not even seeing his name.
But Frank is usually hanging out on his little platform.
Go look.
Near the bulletin board sign.
Oh, is it? Okay, so I gotta go to town. Bulletin board. Okay, that's all I needed. I need to go back to... I need to go to town. I think I did go...
If you look at him, the name Frank is kind of covered up by Captain Conrad.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going on, is I couldn't see it. Hi, Peter.
Yeah, the classical utopia, Star Trek. Star Trek is full-blown communism. It's full-blown communism and socialism rolled into one. There's no money. I mean, you have the Ferengi who do that, but I mean, among the United Federation of Planets, the Vulcans, Klingons, Earth, all that, there's no money.
Yeah, I've always wondered about the economy in that.
There isn't. The economy doesn't exist because there's no scarcity whatsoever.
Replicators.
Replicators can take just basic solar dust and turn it into things.
Actually, me and my friends, Dragonis being one of them, we made a world, the zero tech base, where there is no money because of replicators and stuff like that. Plus, there's like, if you want, you don't, for certain things, there's like, you can actually easily grow it because you can replicate the required items. So it is a communistic system. There's like a healthcare system, free mental health, because people need it. You can do a job if you want. You get a free apartment.
Yeah, but that's Star Trek. That literally is Star Trek. A full communist, and I mean, I know it's fiction. I get that. But still,
I'd kill for a replicator.
I could see that actually working in real life if we ever solve the problem of having replicators.
Yeah.
If we lose scarcity completely,
then communism would work because you'd have the survival thing down pat.
Yeah, the not paying for anything would be pretty freaking nice no matter what. But
and you wouldn't actually
because there's no fighting over the resources. There's no reason to. Everybody has anything they want at any given time. And they don't have to prove they've earned it. You just, hey, you're a person. Here, have a replicator. Go survive. Go have fun. Let's experience the next art cultural renaissance. You know?
Yeah. Can I find the bulb? I am an expert at this game. Trying to find the bulletin board because I'm in town now. I kind of ran into it at a weird angle though, so.
Yeah, just go over to the west side of town and you'll find it.
I know I will eventually because I'm not leaving the town. Why can't I open the chest?
And part of what drives everything is people actually try to make artificial scarcity.
Which I never understood that.
Because they could charge more money for it, because it's suddenly rare. Just look at diamonds.
Yeah.
Diamonds are not a rare thing in any type of there's no way you can actually call a diamond rare. I mean, let's put it this way, it's only precious because advertising made it that way.
People have actually been going away from diamond engagement rings anyway.
I know. But for years and years and years, what was the diamonds are precious, diamonds are forever, diamonds are a girl's best friend. And it's largely because they actually made them not completely, but semi-precious. Because they basically bought all the mines and would only allow so many of them to leave every year.
And with my money, I decided to buy the wheat farmer thing.
Okay, we're almost out of stuff to buy, so I think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yesterday I bought the fourth shop upgrade.
We have 2 things left, but they're both like 50. That's the living room and the another shop upgrade.
Another shop upgrade, yeah. Okay. What comes with the next shop upgrade anyway? Did it say?
Let me check.
Because
upgrade your shop size to attract more customers and sell more.
Does it say extra energy or extra inventory space?
No.
Eh. Because the last one came with extra energy. Yeah,
and
but now we can put 120 items out for display, you know.
And now we have a place to store all our wheat soon, tomorrow. Because I bought the wheat farmer thing, so why not? Ooh, cave. Going in the cave. Spooky cave.
See, part of what I'm trying to do is get through summer. which is why I picked this game for today, because getting through summer means we get into fall, which means Halloween Island stuff.
Yes! Which means I'll build my home there. Right, Pete? I have a cat on my shoulder purring away forever. Actually, I forgot to ask how your Halloween was.
Boring for the most part.
Did I tell you what happened to me? Because I don't remember if I did or not.
I don't think so. You might have. I just don't remember.
The candy bowls got stolen.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that, yeah.
Weird stuff has been happening to me lately.
I mean, my Halloween was I went to work dressed as a wizard. Didn't win a prize because Sailor Moon happened.
Mr. Sailor Moon and his friends. Let's be realistic here. Unless, were there girls or were they guys?
No, it was 5 guys.
You gotta
And
admit
they
that
all dressed up as different colors of Scout, so, you know, none of them accidentally doubled up their colors.
they coordinated.
They coordinated, yeah.
Although it would have been hilarious with you.
Like I said, if I would have done it, I would have been the cat.
There were 2 cats. Technically 3 when the little girl Sailor Scout came along. Which was
the only
actually...
one I know of is the black one. With the...
There's Luna and there's Artemis, who are like the 2 main ones. Luna is the one everyone knows. And apparently in the future they had a kitten named Diana. Who's gray.
We are out of items, okay.
I am...
Oh, it's about to close anyway. We sold out.
I have a cat on my shoulder.
But no, I did that, and then went home because I was actually exhausted because I'd gotten up way too early to use the dye hairspray stuff to turn my beard and my hair gray and white. So I could look like the old wizard instead of a, you know, young wizard.
Please tell me you were doing things like, "You shall feel my wrath," or something like that.
No, they didn't allow us to do acting or anything like that. Just walking through the aisle and standing in front of everybody is about all they wanted.
No, that's no fun.
And I couldn't wear the full get-up because, well, I work in a circuit board factory, or I couldn't wear the full get-up all day. I had to save it for the costume contest. But, no, I work at a circuit board factory, which is, as you would expect, very concerned about electrostatic discharge. And the cloak I was wearing was not an electrostatic safe piece of clothing. I mean, come on. And it was big and, you know, it billowed every time I took a step and would just kind of flow and ripple out. Because
Epic.
it was that big and that thin, basically. But it also would have been a nightmare. So I couldn't wear that. I could wear, like, the long tunic and the belt and the boots. But I couldn't wear the cloak or the gloves or any of that. Because it got in the way of me actually doing work if I had to go out on the floor. And I still had to wear the ESD smock anytime I went anywhere near the floor, so, you know, the cloak was kind of out of it. So I didn't really feel like going, "You shall not pass!" or anything like that.
Oh. Next year, Cyberpunk. Next.
I don't want to shave.
Who says you have to shave for Cyberpunk?
You kind of need to put implants in. And typically, hair doesn't grow back over skin that's been cybernetically modified like that.
Not trying hard enough. But again, you're talking to the... You were talking to the girl that would happily get, like, a mental internet chip installed into her brain, because why not?
See, I'm totally up for a, I'm totally up for the Shadowrun style jacks.
I
You know
feel
what
like
I
I'd
mean,
never...
right?
Yeah. Although I have a feeling I would never see some of my friends again.
Yeah, you know.
Oh well.
At least not in real life. You might see their avatars floating around cyberspace.
Oh yeah, of course. I can just see the PSAs now. Is this your child? Has he been in cyberspace for 3 weeks?
If you know of anyone that's been in for cyberspace for longer than 24 hours at a stretch, give me their number because I need to find out how they're keeping their body hydrated. Oh, yeah,
Please don't.
sorry, that's a concern of mine. It's like,
No,
what, do you do an IV, or,
I'd be more worried about how they're going to the bathroom.
catheters, colostomy bags?
Yuck.
Yeah, but that's a simple problem. Or, if you have the right type of hardware installed, you have it to where your bladder and bowels just don't function normally. And everything's moved down to an extremely slow rate or shut off entirely while you're jacked in.
Not sound healthy.
It doesn't sound healthy, but hey, it's another solution. Considering we're already doing heavy body modification to get the cyber jacks.
I forgot to put a few
And see,
things
I
in.
could just wear some skin-colored plastic hat, but I'm talking my beard and such, and that gets difficult to put prosthetics over. Especially if I want to actually talk during the day.
That's where you get like one of those voice modifiers, like Stephen Hawking had, and you type it in, it's like, "Hello, it's me, Surat." I pray to God you don't have people play with that and make you say this stuff.
Oh, I would. They would totally take advantage of that.
What would they make you say?
I have no idea what they would make me say specifically, but they would have fun making me say things.
I'll be right back because, speaking of catheters, unfortunately, I don't have one. I will be right back.
See, yeah, there's that. There's, I mean, you know, the Warhammer stuff with where they've gone to extreme measures. There's also the Mad Max stuff where, you know, they have people hooked into things there too, so they can serve as like blood bags and all that. Then there are the things I've heard in Shadowrun. And then there's even, what is it? That terrible freaking game, Ripper. Well, we had a bunch of chicken stuff, didn't we? But there's also, Ripper, where we saw how they dealt with it there, so, you know.
I don't know if you've played Ripper. I don't have it on your channel.
Not for the channel, I haven't. I
That
have
would-
played Ripper. But I don't have a working copy. And I really don't want to do the things that other people have to do to get Ripper working. Because knowing me, I would actually screw it up and torch my hard drive. Because to get it to work, you actually have to run a Windows emulator. And if you're not careful, it basically rewrites your boot sector.
Oh, good. The only reason to play Ripper is to
Is for Christopher Walken, but you know.
Yeah.
You can't cut bacon with a baseball bat. It's like the best line in that game.
I saw like Retsu play it. Comment on it.
Yeah, right up until, man, they had that big falling out with Lotax. Which was kind of sad, really, because they actually did have a fairly enjoyable play of that going.
I thought they finished Ripper.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I thought they had to stop most of the way through because they lost Lotax.
No, they kept going without him, I think.
I have to go see, because I remember they put it on pause at the very least.
Oh, pretty sure they finished it a while ago. Like, I saw an ending at least.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna check because if I remember correctly,
I mean, like just about everyone else on the internet way back when, I saw Spoonie's play of it. Of course, trying to go back and watch his videos now just makes me sad.
is Spoonie even still around?
His website's still up in the various states of disrepair. I think he managed to get back on Twitter.
But yeah, it's diabetes. I usually hear slow beef with.
Yeah, they were like, they did it for, I don't know how many years together, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, their playlist is Don't Fear the Ripper.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have 20 parts, and it's 20 of 20.
Okay.
By the way, fun fact. Their voices, when I first saw what they actually look like, their voices felt swamped.
Don't they, though?
I'm not the only one!
No, you're not the only one. It's like, you would expect because you hear that and you think one of them is like a big...
Okay.
One of them you would think looks like Curtis Craig from Phantasmagoria 2. That's kind of how I pictured one of them looking, and it was the other one that did.
What it is that Slow Beef has the beard, and Diabetes doesn't. But I thought Diabetes had the beard, and Slow Beef didn't.
But no, you are not crazy. Those are the... They definitely have the voice that you would expect the other one to have.
Which is probably why it works. In a weird way, I'm eating early birthday sweet cookies.
Kieran's camp is just getting bigger and bigger, isn't it? It looks like every time I go over there every few days, it looks like it's getting bigger. But yeah, watching anything by Spoony just makes me sad now.
I loved his review of like old video board games. That's when I learned of the Gatekeeper.
Yeah, except for the fact that I'd actually played that one in high school.
I didn't. I wanted to because I saw commercials for it.
Yeah, back in high school, me, Rin's girlfriend, Rin's brother, and my girlfriend at the time all got together and played it. And various combinations of that collective. As we had a video rental store way back when that was a thing that actually had the game and would rent it out to people. So we would rent it out about every other weekend and actually play it for a little while. Because the thing about Rin, he, his brother, and his father collected those old VCR-based board games. Back then, they actually had a collection of those things. And there were some good ones in the bunch, really.
Sure.
I don't think you'll ever see the good ones again because, well, it's kind of hard to replicate them. But there was one based on one called Robots, based on Isaac Asimov's I, Robot. That was really freaking good. Because the thing is, you get the same VCR tape. It was the same VCR tape every time, but based on the cards you drew, the answers would be different. Because it's kind of like a mix of a VCR board game and Clue. Because there's a big mystery going around, but motivations and all that, the cards in your hand provide different like news clippings and all this that you've run across, and you've got to infer what the actual who the actual murderer, not who the actual murderer is, but who the genius behind it is, that type of thing. And it was done really, really well.
There was a Clue video board game, and we watched the video. It kind of it started as like a normal murder mystery, kind of deteriorated into chaos.
Yeah, well, so did the movie.
Yeah, but this was like the movie done badly.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know. And then at the exact opposite end of that was Dragon Strike, which was only partially a VCR board game. It just had a VCR in it to kind of explain how the game is played. Because Dragon Strike is kind of like a very, very scaled down Hero Quest. It's much simpler, but still they included the VCR tape in there to get you through the whole initial. It's like, here, here's how you basically play the game, and here's kind of what you're going to be doing, etc., etc., etc. And it all begins with a guy with a white guy with almost an afro worth of curly hair popping up, and you can't. If I recall it correctly, you couldn't see his shirt because it was a complete black background, and he was wearing a black shirt. So all you saw were his head and his hands, and it focused in on him, and he was going, "Feeling brave?"
No, because you don't have a toy, Gary.
But it's just one of those, and you could not help but absolutely die laughing at this thing. It was so freaking ridiculous. Because the guy is going full on emotional drama actor trying to sell this like he's game mastering something, that's his role in the video. He's a game master for a group of players. But he's being like the first I wouldn't even say he's having fun with it, because he's way too serious. He's that dramatic, serious overactor. Everything is life or death. You know, that type, you know. It's not even the type of thing that looks like somebody's having fun with. It looks like they're suffering through it.
Let's see. I never really played any of the VCR board games. Like, the closest I can think of is I played Mall Madness, which I liked that game. Then there was, I liked playing regular Clue. I liked playing... Well, obviously I like some of the newer stuff, like Betrayal and House on the Hill. That just devolves into pure silly toward the end.
You were busy. Let's see. What are you busy with? Ah! Building another bridge, huh? The problem is, a lot of the board games I played were the types where they decided, hey, you know chess? Let's make that, only change it up just enough that it's not chess anymore, type thing.
One of the games I like...
They did that and it was still basically just two armies fighting each other.
The game I played... One of the games I remember playing was Key to the Kingdom.
I never had that one.
It was interesting.
I'd heard about it. I kind of vaguely remember it.
I owned it. I think I still have one or two of the pieces because I lost the entire board game otherwise.
It might be on Tabletop Simulator.
I'm sure.
It wasn't.
Another one I remember playing was Pretty Princess. I had to play that with my dad.
Of course you did.
I actually liked, because the mechanic was you couldn't win if you had the black ring, but I liked the black ring. Oh God, what is wrong with me? I'm finding clues to my childhood of why I am nuts. But, and granted, I kind of went toward video games because I was the youngest of 3 siblings and the other 2 were in college. So it was Mario and Zelda, Final Fantasy, and what else did I play? Crystallis. I think I played Faxanadu too. It's another one I remember. And I think I played Castlevania once. A cousin of mine had it. Back when Capcom was good.
Even though that's not Capcom.
Like, Konami, sorry, Konami. Back when Konami was good.
I don't know why there are people on a placeholder island. Presumably because they wanted to go there. That's why. I mean, the only Mahjong I've ever played is the solitaire stuff.
Yeah, on the computer.
I never learned how to actually play Mahjong.
My mother played real Mahjong. She had a Mahjong group.
But I played... There was one game called The Generals, which was 2 armies advancing on each other, but with a twist. And that twist was shared by another game I'm about to mention, but for starters, it is, you can't see the other enemy forces, but the goal is to capture one of their specific pieces, but you can't see any of them. even after you attack it, you're still not going to be sure of what it is, because each piece had like little raised parts underneath, and after you collided two pieces, you set them aside without showing them to each other on this little platform, which had buttons that the little pieces on the bottom would press down, and the game would just kind of match those two and tell you which one won. So you didn't see what piece you took out, and you didn't see what piece beat you. You had one or two pieces that could actually go in and see who they were hitting. But the problem is those pieces could beat anything in the game except the cheap pawn, basically, of the group.
This sounds like a more convoluted version of Risk.
It's nothing like Risk.
Not Risk. What?
Stratego.
That's the one I was thinking, because I have the collector's.
Yeah. But it's,
I have a collector's
yes, it is
version
kind of like a more convoluted version of Stratego. But the
And here's
thing
the
with
thing.
Stratego, you have to see what you're fighting. With the generals, no, you didn't get to see what you knocked out, and you didn't get to see any of that.
Oddly enough, I have a collector's version of Stratego.
Yeah, that's not that surprising. It was a very popular game.
I also have the 20th anniversary edition of Trivial Pursuit that I got on my 20th birthday. Actually, it sounds like Stratego and Battleship had a baby.
Kinda.
Thinking about it. I like Battleship, though. I liked playing the car bomb game in Sam and Max Hit the Road.
Yeah. Where they actually made the reference. So we're playing Battle. No, we're not. That's trademarked. We can't be playing it.
Even though we technically are.
It's like, but we're totally playing. Yes, we are, but we are not playing that specifically because it's trademarked. This is Car Bomb. I love the fact that they did that.
To be fair, they're more likely to blow up than battleships, those two.
Yeah. And even as a joke, I'm not sure I'd want those two in charge of battleships.
No, that should totally happen.
Oh God, no.
Yes! I know.
I mean, we saw what they did with the giant statue of Abraham Lincoln.
To be fair, the giant statue of Abraham Lincoln was trying to hypnotize the entire country.
Wasn't completely its fault, though.
No, but they still had to stop it, and
Yeah.
let's be realistic, I don't think there could have been another one. Without maybe a tank.
Oh, come on, you know if a tank would have stopped it, Max would have been all for that.
Yeah, but he probably still would have had to gotten into the war room, so...
Oh, yeah. But, you know, he did say how the missile kind of felt like it lacked the personal touch.
Yeah.
Whereas a tank...
That doesn't lack the personal touch at all.
Nope.
Also, oh dear God, Matt, it was just funny. Hi. My dad. I have to question. Why did Max get all of the power in those games?
Are you gonna be the one to tell him no?
Yes,
And then he eats you. As an
because
example for the next guy.
here's the thing. We're playing Sam, the one person that can tell him no.
But Sam has no interest in telling him no.
Has to be a limit.
Do you remember how the third game ended? Okay, fourth game. The third season of the Telltale game. Do you remember how that ended?
Yeah, and I was actually crying.
Does that look like anything that has limit written on it to you?
To be fair, that was the son of a bunch of Eldritch Abominations possessing Max at that point.
Yeah, but then again, it's still the point. Does that look like the thing that has limits?
No.
Okay then.
Although it still loved corn dogs.
Oh yeah, something's universal. Did that duck actually quack? I think the duck actually quacks now.
It's the little things. Butterball?
Still can't pet the duck, but I'm pretty sure I heard it quack at me.
And I have a kitty sitting on my leg. You know, cuddly, fluffy ball of love. He's wont to do. I like the Sam and Max games.
Oh yeah, I like the Sam Max games too. That was back when, Telltale was still making semi-unique games. Rather than the same game over and over and over with a different coat of paint.
I hope somebody else picks up the license and makes a new Sam and Max game.
I don't think the creators are interested. I think they told the story they wanted to tell. And they're pretty much done with it.
Can you blame me for wanting it, though?
No. Because I would love for them to make another Sam and Max. I would love for somebody to make another point-and-click Sam and Max game. I like the Sam and the Max.
They're so underrated, though.
Yep.
You would think, especially with our generations, people would be latching onto them because they're so irreverent. No. Although, you'll forgive me if I do find it kind of funny that I like the Saturday morning cartoon show.
I like it too.
Yay!
The problem is, it wasn't written for a Saturday morning audience.
They try.
They didn't try that hard to make it a Saturday morning cartoon writing. They didn't really try that hard.
I must have been a weird kid then, because those are the kind of cartoons I gravitated toward.
Oh yeah, I liked the hell out of them, but it wasn't common Saturday morning fare by any stretch.
The cartoons I liked when I was a kid was Muppet Babies, Garfield, Sam and Max, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Bump in the Night, Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Oh, what else? Anything sciencey. The Aladdin cartoon. I had a lot. I liked She-Ra. I liked He-Man. I liked Thundercats. Beakman's World. I didn't really go for... I didn't really go for the shows like Pepper Ann that everyone only remembers, or Doug. I hated Doug. I liked Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life. Rugrats was it was hit and miss for me.
Fair enough. Rugrats were a little after my time for cartoon watching.
Not after mine, so I don't.
Yeah, they were after my time.
Looney Tunes was a big one for me.
Yeah, Looney Tunes, Tiny Toons,
Yes, Tiny Toons, and I liked
Animaniacs, Freakazoid.
Freakazoid.
Okay,
Freakazoid
that's
was
kind of.
fun.
You see, I wasn't really watching a lot of cartoons because I was 20.
I never stopped. Because I didn't like any of the live action shows I was supposed to watch.
But yeah, I didn't watch a lot of TV, period.
Ah.
If I did anything, I was, freaking playing video games or something. I didn't watch a ton of. I just didn't watch a ton of TV.
I don't really watch TV now.
But before then, we look back, and yes, Ren and Stimpy was definitely there. At least the first iteration of Ren and Stimpy.
Which now I feel bad.
First, 3 seasons, I think, or at least
Well,
the majority of the first 3 seasons. Not all of them.
You've heard about what happened to the creator, though, right?
John Kay, yeah, he. Then again, I'm not sure what technically happened to him more than he happened to himself.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because he's a heavily. He's kind of a douche.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Kay, kind of a douche, but and he was really at his best when he actually had people to tell him no,
which he
to
didn't
make
like.
his stuff coherent, which yeah, he absolutely hated, but kind of one of those things that kind of needed to happen because while his ideas were generally good, he had way too much stuff that was like, no, dude, pull it back some. Come on, pull back. He definitely had more than a few ideas that needed, to be reined in.
Which
and we saw the example of what happened when, I don't know if you ever saw the Adult Party cartoon.
I attempted to watch one episode.
There you go. That's kind of the typical reaction to it, because the thing is, you went from having a Ren and Stimpy originally that had the really well structured jokes, it had the really tight writing, it had it had really, really in-depth stuff to it. There were layers to the jokes they told in the original Ren and Stimpy. Even if they were all sight gags, it was still something that they kept building on. You went from that in the original to the new series was like, the joke in its entirety was a guy standing there, well, I gotta take a dump. And that's it. There was nothing else to it.
The thing is that, like I said, I attempted to. Not just once, but a couple of times, because somebody had brought a DVD of the show. And I'm like, oh, maybe these episodes, because part of it was I just couldn't catch them because, I'm terrible at catching TV shows in general. Like, oh, maybe there were better episodes. No.
And then let's see, as far as good cartoons, The Tick.
Oh, yes.
Mighty Max.
Oh, that was a good one, you're right.
It was really, really good. It had some good... I'm not saying it had bad writing or anything like that, but the writing wasn't the greatest writing in the world.
No, because they were writing it off a toy, so what they gave...
So what you got was Tim Curry and Tony J. And it was glorious.
And here's the thing. I saw the ending of it, and it was actually...
I watched the full freaking series.
I did too. The ideas they had were interesting.
Oh, yeah. My favorite episodes were the two-parter where they went around and got the heroes from around the world.
Yes, that was one of the best ones!
And it was just seeing all those heroes go out with some freaking noble sacrifices. And even getting to, even just all that. It's like, even the one that really didn't want to fight was like, oh, well, maybe I'll reincarnate as a butterfly. And of course,
that was the Monkey King that was like that. That was...
Yeah, Hanuman.
Yes.
Hanuman was like that, and it was like, it's like, well, maybe I'll reincarnate as a butterfly. And Tim Curry, in his best voice, prepare to find out,
And then, the final shot, he did.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, one of my favorites was something called Zero Island, where there was this two-headed dragon that was, one side was light and the other side was dark.
Yeah, and they had to get it back in balance.
And they tried
to do so, they had to burn the one page out of that book.
No, what they had to do was...
That was the plan of Skullmaster, to use that page, because it was one of the few things that he actually feared.
No, this was different. They had to give all the light power to the light dragon head, because it was all in the dark dragon head, so
yeah.
They started arguing with each other.
Yeah. But to do that, they had to use the sun page.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that was one of the few things Skullmaster actually feared. So I said, even if it didn't work, I got them to use that resource. I win,
Which kind of means that the whole ending of the series, when they pretty much made it a time loop, but the main characters were aware.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a middle finger to Skullface.
Yeah, it is. But then again, he really didn't plan on Max having the intestinal fortitude, so to speak, to jump in there while he's in the middle of casting the massive spell. He really did not count on that. He really thought Max was just going to fold over.
No, but Max is a stubborn 10-year-old
Max is
boy.
A stubborn kid, yes.
He should have seen that coming the minute he said.
It's like, that's the point in time when he was just going, well, I really don't know what else I should have expected. But yeah, I love that show.
Another episode I remember is when, like, the zombies from the town that Skullmaster, like, enslaved and made them into underwater zombies.
Yeah, the dragon?
No, not the dragon. The zombie.
Let's see.
It was a bunch of an army of zombies. That apparently their backstory was this was a town that was in trouble, and Skullmaster made a deal with them, stole their souls, killed them anyway, and they became his army of zombies that if he tells them go get the cat bearer, then they will relentlessly hunt the cat bearer. And that's how the last cat bearer died, in that he jumped into the ocean with all the zombies following him, but the cat was not with him. So they thought they succeeded, and they failed.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
I do, because that one was freaking... Because they didn't, like, scream or yell, or basically, like, cat bearer, cat bearer.
I vaguely remember that.
It was creepy as hell. And the thing is, he couldn't get rid of them. He was jumping from portal to portal to portal to portal to portal. And then Virgil stole the cat, trying to get them to follow him and sacrifice his own life. But Max saved the day by tricking them and zapping him to the Marianas Trench.
Well, I mean, hey, gotta put him somewhere.
Think about how long it would take them to get out.
Oh, yeah. They aren't getting out. If nothing else, the sea pressure crushed them.
I forget if they were indestructible or not, actually. Yeah. They made a joke like, by the time they get out of there, you're not going to be the cat bearer anymore. You'll be dead. From what we don't know, but you'll be long dead.
Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the very, very underrated shows because everybody thought, oh, it's just another toy franchise. But no, they actually put some effort into it.